everybody, Taylor here from Ciao Bella Sewing. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm super excited today because we are going to do a YouTube tutorial on learning how to thread your sewing machine. This has been a very popular request. We have gotten it in the past from some of our students and some of our parents. So today is the big day. You guys get to finally learn how this machine gets threaded, and hopefully if you have your machine at home and if you haven't opened it yet and it's still in the box, now is the time. Go ahead, grab it, and get your machine threaded. Now is the perfect time to take up a new hobby and do some sewing. So let's get started. I'm going to zoom in on the machine for you guys so you can see exactly how it gets threaded. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment and ask. I will happily answer all of your questions regarding how the sewing machine gets threaded as well. So hopefully this helps, and let's get started. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how to thread the bobbin. So this spool of thread is just going to come over the top just like this. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place the cap or the hat right here, so this way as the machine gets going, the spool of thread is not going to fly off, okay? So here we have our empty bobbin. This is what it looks like so you guys can all see it. It's clear and it's plastic. So I'm just going to place it right here for now. I'm going to take my thread and I'm going to go ahead and click it in place right here. If you listen carefully, you can definitely hear it. Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and slide it underneath there. Now, one of the most important things, you need to make sure that your bobbin thread goes underneath this metal part right here, okay? So this thing actually moves, and it's key that the thread goes between those two layers, and you want it to fishtail around for some extra tension, okay? So now, the best way to describe how to thread the bobbin is to think of this bobbin right here as an Oreo cookie. So you can think about how this is the chocolate and this is the chocolate and the middle part is the filling. So we're actually going to take our thread and we're just going to put it right here through the filling, okay? So it needs to come up from the middle just like that. So now with the thread going from the middle and onto the top, I'm going to go ahead and drag it over here onto the bobbin holder. I'm going to slide it on and I'm going to slide my bobbin to the right. So soon enough, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to press down on the pedal while holding this top thread still so it has some tension. Now that there's enough thread on the bobbin to hold it into place, I can go ahead and cut this little thread right here so I don't have to hold my arm up in the air the whole time. Now I'm going to go back to filling my bobbin. Perfect. So now thread has left this spool, it's gone around here, and it's actually gone onto my bobbin. So since this is still all connected, I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut the thread right here in the middle. Just like that. I'm going to slide my bobbin that now has thread on it over here to the left, and I'm just going to pull it off, okay? So this looks so good, like a very nice tightly wound bobbin. It's looking great. So I'm going to go ahead and just put it right here for now. I'm going to undo the thread here and kind of just let it hang out. And now I'm going to show you guys how to thread the rest of the machine. Okay, so now that we have cut the thread from our bobbin, we're going to go ahead and actually thread the top part of the sewing machine. And when I say top part, I mean from right here, from where you place a spool of thread on the top of the machine, all the way through to the needle. So I'm going to go ahead. It can still stay right here underneath this little lever, and it's going to come underneath here and it goes straight down. Now, I love the new sewing machines because they have numbers that help guide you throughout. So right now you see that we've already done 1 and 2. This is 3, so straight down, and 4. It needs to go from the right side to the left. This is step 5, this little hook. Now, if this hook is ever hiding, you can spin the wheel on the side of the machine towards you, and that is actually going to move this hook up and down, okay? It also moves the needle, so if that's hiding, make sure that it's in its most upright position so you can get the thread from the right side to the left. Then it goes straight down. We're at number 6. There's usually one hook right here before the needle, and then there's a very last hook that's always on the needle. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn my thread sideways, get it behind that hook, and now this thread has to go through the needle. I have my scissors here because I always like to clip the thread so it's nice and fresh, and so there's no frayed edges. This will make it much easier when I go to put it through the needle. Okay, so perfect. Now that the thread is through the needle, I just pull it straight back, just like that. And now this presser foot right here, it has a little slit. So I'm gonna take the thread, put it through the slit, and now pull it in the back, okay? Just like that. So now it's time for us to thread the bobbin. This is a top loading bobbin as opposed to a front loading bobbin. If you have a front loading bobbin, you'll know because your bobbin is going to be hidden right here. So again, this is top loading so we can see it from the top. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna slide this little black lever to the right, and this plastic piece just pops off like that. Then I take my bobbin, and you're gonna wanna make sure that it's in the shape of the letter P, okay? So can you guys see how that looks like a P? Just like that. You're gonna drop it into the bobbin holder. Now, I like to apply a little tension to the top of the bobbin, just so it stays in place, okay? I take my thread, I start it off from the right side, I drag it along the bottom, all the way to my left side. There is a little slit right here in the very bottom of the bobbin holder. The thread needs to go through that slit, okay? So now I take my top thread, and what I'm gonna do is actually hold it with my left hand, and I'm gonna spin the wheel on the side of the sewing machine towards me. So I spin it towards me so the needle moves down and catches the bobbin thread. Now, I have my cute little scissors here. I take my scissors and pull out that loop. And now you guys will see how cool is this. I have 2 threads right there. So that means that my sewing machine is all set up and ready to go. I'm gonna put this plastic piece back in place, and you always wanna make sure that there's a thread going across your bobbin, okay? So you can always look for that thread because that's a good indicator that your bobbin is threaded correctly. And then also, there are some different settings on the sewing machine. I usually just like to stick to the recommended settings. So here we have our straight stitch, but if I wanted to change it, I just spin the knob. Here I have the length. I usually keep my length around 1 or 2. Width the same, around 1 or 2. Needle position in the middle. And my tension, I always keep it right here at number 4. So you guys can see that 4 is the recommended because there are 2 dashes on each side of 4. But again, you can adjust these depending on the stitches that you're actually going to be sewing with. And if you have your manual will give you more detailed information as far as what you can adjust the length and the width and the tension to, again, depending on the type of stitch that you are using. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. And if you have any questions, please comment below and I will happily answer them as best as I can. Most all sewing machines are threaded very similarly. So although this is a Singer heavy duty, these basic steps will get you through on any type of Singer sewing machine for the most part, okay? So good luck and happy sewing.